In the dense jungles of Chhattisgarh's Bastar region, the heart of India's deadliest Maoist terrain, Abujmad, Madhed Police Station, Bijapur, January 5th, 2025, around noon. The phone of a senior DRG officer rings.
सर 4-5 नक्सल छुपे हैं बंदेपुरा कोरंजा जंगल में.
Excited with the tip-off, he immediately briefs his team of STF and police personnel.
The target is just 10 kilometers from here.
And soon, a cavalcade of 15 vehicles makes its way via road through Abujmad's treacherous forest. The convoy comes to a halt 1 kilometer before the target area, where the road ends and the forest begins. The commandos quickly exit their vehicles, taking care to keep noise down to a minimum. And without a word, they cautiously trek into the forest for around 800 meters, fully alert, guns in firing position. As soon as the lead commander saw the Maoist hideout, he raised his hand, stop, and signaled his team to circle and cordon off the area. Once they took their positions, the officer issued final instructions to his squad.
Do not fire until I give the order.
Slowly, the team crept forward in unison and tightened the cordon, closing in on the target. But the Maoists either sensed their presence or saw their approach and opened fire first, taking the forces by surprise.
Jawano, show them our metal! Fire!
And with that, the battle began that went on raging for the next few hours. Our forces struck first, downing 2 Maoists, which they determined when the guns went silent and their firing stopped. But the tip-off had specifically mentioned at least 4, so surely there were more, either waiting for night or tending to the wounded. By 4 p.m., it had already become extremely dark in the thick underbush. So floodlights were installed, focusing their beams on the target area, ensuring no one escapes at night. Then the Jawans prepared to spend the rest of the night in vigil. Barely had the sun risen the next day that fire erupted from the hut and the gunfight resumed again, this time lasting for 8 more hours. By the end, at 1 p.m., 3 more Maoists, including 2 women, were neutralized. Unfortunately, however, one DRG constable, Sannu Kumar, was martyred in the line of duty. In high-stakes operations, one small decision can change everything. Just like in investing, the battle is over, but the mission isn't. Just like in the markets which are in a correction mode, and many fear the dip. But smart investors know this is an opportunity because when it bounces back, they get maximum returns. Invest smartly with CoinSwitch, one of India's biggest crypto exchanges. Registered with the Financial Intelligence Unit of India and trusted by 2 crore plus users, where trade crypto futures with the lowest fees, 350 plus contracts and up to 25x leverage, meaning 1000 rupees can trade like 25,000. New to futures trading, enjoy 100% free rebate for 15 days, 1% cashback and 0 trading fees for 30 days. The financially strong CoinSwitch maintains proof of reserves, ensuring transparency. With total customer holdings of 1,952 crore and total CoinSwitch holdings of over 2,500 crore. And now, stepping forward with CoinSwitch Cares, a 600 crore recovery fund to help Wazir X affected users. So start investing smartly with CoinSwitch today. Link in description and pinned comment. Back to the high-risk operation where the real danger is the one you don't see coming.
Crypto products and NFTs are unregulated and can be highly risky. There may be no regulatory recourse for any loss from such transactions.
As the successful team prepared to return to base, they followed the set protocol. First, by sending a ROP, road opening party, a squad of 15 to 20 Jawans or CRPF personnel who walked the entire route on foot with sniffer dogs and metal detectors, ensuring there are no IEDs on the side of the road or militants hiding in the jungles. After getting an all clear from the ROP, the first convoy of 8 vehicles left, keeping a 100-meter gap between each other, and as per protocol, 15 minutes later, the other 7 vehicles followed. After the grueling 24-hour operation, the team were rejoicing in their hard-fought victory. The first group of vehicles took the Kudri-Bendre road near Ambeli village, again a protocol to take a different route while returning. The army vehicles, driven by experienced Jawans, never slowed down their speed even while going over uneven parts of the road. However, the 7th vehicle in the caravan, a Scorpio XUV, a private vehicle driven by a civilian, slowed his speed to negotiate a bump. Almost 6 weeks earlier in November 2024 near a Bailey village, late at night along the Kudri Bedre road, some workers seemed to be laying a pipe. They worked through the night, building an underground tunnel in between two trees that stood on opposite sides as markers. The start of the tunnel was as far as 50 to 150 meters away from the road, going under it like a foxhole. Then they put a 40 to 70 kg explosive inside a plastic pipe and inserted the pipe bomb into the foxhole so that the explosive was placed directly beneath the road. The wire attached to the explosive was carefully drawn back along the ground as far as 250 meters from the road. Then to hide their tracks, they covered the hole with mud, threw dead leaves and twigs over it, and melted away into the darkness before morning broke. 6 weeks later, by the time of the operation on Jan 5th, a thick cover of grass had grown over it, completely camouflaging the location. As the troops were traveling back, one of the Maoists who had dug the tunnel and knew its location by the two trees across each other reached the secret spot hoping the forces may take this route when they return. And he was sadistically thrilled to see the convoy in the distance, but to his dismay, none slowed down sufficiently over the road depression for him to time the fuse. Then came the civilian vehicle who reduced its speed. The Naxal joined the fuse, which traveled quickly towards the ID. And bam! The explosion was timed perfectly as the Scorpio was just above it and the car was flung high up in the air. The impact was horrifying, forming a crater 8 to 10 feet deep and 20 feet wide, killing 8 DRG Jawans, the civilian driver, and one accompanying villager. So shocking that a piece of a Jawan's uniform was left hanging from a tree branch 50 feet above the ground. The outrage resulted in questions being raised in high-level meetings. What went wrong? How could we have missed this? Which deepened the mystery because all three protocols were followed, sending a road opening party to sanitize the route, dividing the caravan, and returning via a different route. Just 5 days before this blast on Jan 1st, the road opening party had efficiently recovered 13 IEDs planted by Maoists in a single day across 2 locations. So what happened this time? Was the ROP team tired after the operation and didn't do the sanitization properly? Or even if a new fresh team was sent, experts believe that the SOP of clearing 50 to 150 yards on both sides of the road in V formation to detect IEDs was not done. And why was a civilian SUV used? And why was it a part of the caravan that went to the Maoists' hidden spot? Perhaps they didn't use sniffer dogs to track the route, but this type of information will never be released in the public domain. We can only guess. Even if the forces would have used larger vehicles that can withstand 5 to 7 kgs of explosives, it would have been of no use as this was an overwhelming 40 to 70 kgs. Though even if that light SUV would have continued at a decent speed, it could have just about been saved or the damage minimized. This incident also signals a failure on part of our intelligence units to not pick up any chatter about the plan. However, this is just a small but grave blip on Home Minister Amit Shah's agenda to eliminate the Naxalite menace by 2026. The forces have neutralized as many as 217 Maoists last year, the highest ever in 1 year in Chhattisgarh. A few days after this, Jayaram Reddy alias Chalapati, the dreaded Maoist with a 1 crore bounty on his head, was killed. And on Feb 11th, our Jawans eliminated 31 Maoists in Indravati National Park, a long-standing safe haven for the insurgents. It is an extremely tough battle out there for our forces, but even if tired, SOPs should be strictly followed because a small mistake should not cost the lives of our brave Jawans. Do watch our 2019 story which traces the history of the Naxal movement in India. Bisbo's limerick. Through Bastar's thick jungle so deep, the brave Jawans moved in with a sweep. But hidden below, a blast laid them low and left the whole nation to weep. You will also find these sources listed in our video description section.